Yo, what's going on, guys? Today we have the Great British Pub Culture Explained. I don't know what this video is gonna be about, but I do know you guys in England, UK, you guys love pubs, man. You guys go there to socialize, go there to have a good time and stuff like that. So I'm really interested to see what he gonna go with this video. Yeah, man, a lot of you guys that are watching the videos, it shows that 90% of you guys are not subscribed. So please, if you can subscribe, that would be really good. We're on our way to 10,000 subscribers, so please like, comment, and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get straight to the video.
Great things about England is pubs.
My whole love of journalism and debating came from just observing people in the pub.
The Great British Pub has been the backdrop for debate, conflict, and even love. A place open for all, from geezers to hipsters to ladies' nights out.
You all mix together as one, and that's how it should be.
It is the backbone of British culture.
Go to the Winchester, have a nice cold pint, and wait for all this to blow over.
So today we're going to explore this fascinating culture. We're going to go through its history, its controversies, and whether it's going to survive in the future. This is the story of the Great British Pub.
The British have a famous reserve when it comes to being sociable. And everything about the pub is micro-engineered to break down those social barriers and to enable people to talk to each other.
Pub is short for public house, with its origins dating as far back
I didn't even know that. Public house. Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
as 43 AD to 410 AD, and it came from the Romans as they occupied Britain. However, pubs as we know them today would really become popular in the Victorian era. They were communal meeting points that typically the working class could go to and enjoy themselves. Pubs fall into a few different categories, and they have changed a lot over the years, but let's start with three basic ones. Firstly, you have the traditional pub. These are often housed in historic British buildings. Typically, there'll be laws and regulations over how you can change the building's exterior as a way to preserve the culture. So this means there's very low ceilings and very low doorways, because apparently people were smaller back then. A lot of the interior is made out of wood. There's wooden beams everywhere. There's usually an open fireplace, and it's designed to feel like a nice, homely, cozy living room. When it comes to drinks, they'll serve a range of beers, ales, ciders, and they might even offer traditional pub food, which we would call pub grub. Now let's move on to the next pub, and that is the country pub.
And every country village needs a country pub.
Now, as the name suggests, a country pub is far out in the sticks, way away from what they would refer to as city folk. Why this is different from a traditional pub is that traditional pubs can exist in very urban areas.
Again, this might be a stupid question. What is the main difference between a pub and a bar? Like a sports bar? Or is it just different names? Again, tell me in the comments. I really don't know.
Traditional pub relies on its surrounding area. It might be a bit more fun, a bit more lively, and there might be, God forbid, young people in there. Whereas the country pub is quite the opposite. The country pub is more quiet, more cozy, more chill. It caters to the locals who will look at outsiders with a little bit of scorn. The locals have typically lived in that town for generations and generations.
And then we got their children's children and their grandchildren, and they still recognise and still know you. Good night, Miss Babes. Good night, Sam. Good night, John. Good night, Teddy.
And then lastly, we can throw in...
And I love small towns because of that. The connection that you have in a small town is like no other. You can't go in the city and have the same connection, man. It's like everybody know everybody. It's like a big happy family in the small towns, man. I love that.
A brewery tap is a pub that's attached to a brewery. They brew a beer on site and they sell it there. And these pubs tend to look a bit more industrial and are more used as a marketing tool for that beer. But for now, let's get a feel of what it's like to step foot into a traditional pub. Before we go any further with this video, I want to give a massive shout out to HelloFresh for sponsoring. HelloFresh is a recipe box that they send direct.
Like I always say, man, I'm not gonna skip ads simply because I'm watching this video. It's only fair that I watch these ads also. Again, you guys are welcome to skip it, but I will not.
Front door. All you have to do is go onto the website, select which types of food you want. The different selections are rapid, which are just quick and easy meals that will be done in 20 minutes. Then you've got calorie smart, which is meals under 650 calories. And then you've got high protein, which is obviously what I went for. The meals are so easy to follow. They have all these recipe cards and it tells you what you need, all the steps. Instead of me having to wander around a shop for an hour picking out hoisin sauce and sunflower seeds, HelloFresh saves you a ton of time and makes the whole process quicker and easier and more fun. You'll plan what time you're going to receive your box. They'll hand it over to you. It's got all the items you need in it, all the different bags. So I honestly recommend you guys go and check HelloFresh out. Right now they're running a great discount, which is 60% off your first box, plus 25% off your next 2 months, and a free gift. So either use the QR code or check the links below and use the code HFJimmy to go claim your discount. Anyway, back to the video.
Well, here we go.
Alright, so picture this. It's a Wednesday, you finish work, it was a bit stressful, and so what do? You of course venture down to the pub. Which pub will it be today? Will it be the famous Cock, the Red Lion, the horse's mouth? And so you approach the front door of the pub and you push open the door to be greeted by another door for some reason. There's always these 2 doors. Instantly you hear Mickey and the boys sat in their usual spot, shouting about some political thing that they read in the Sun. Listen here boys, you know what I'd do if I was in charge, if I was Prime Minister? Yeah, what's that there, Mickey? I'd get a whole lot of them, take them outside and I'd shoot them. Yeah, that's about right, Mickey. In the corner of Mickey's eye, he sees you as you walk in. The whole table's attention turns. Here comes trouble. You exchange niceties for a couple of seconds and then Mickey, he'll escort you to the bar to go get a drink. These particular gentlemen are who you would refer to as the Geysers.
Yeah, you trying to wind me up? I ain't trying to wind anyone up. I'm fucking serious.
These are working class lads. They could be anywhere from the age of like 25 to 55 really. Might be a plumber, a sparky, a carpet fitter, you know, proper man's jobs. They're not going to be in the HR department working in diversity and inclusion. Now what's very interesting about the Geyser is that the Geyser exists within all British men. No matter how middle class you are, whether you shop at M&S or Waitrose, the infectious charisma and energy of the Geyser will undoubtedly rub off on you at some point in the night.
And who's that? Well, this is, what's your name?
Steve.
Steve. He'll be joining us. Why?
Usually around sort of beer 6, maybe 7. You'll leave your table, you head to the toilet, you might wobble there because you're getting a little bit intoxicated. And as you go for a piss, the door will bang wide open. Mickey walks right in, stands next to you, and he turns to you and he says, "You watched the game last night, mate?" To which you'll panic because last night you're at yoga and you need to now come up with a cover story. And so you will reply,
I was gonna let that slide, but hold up, man.
You'll leave your table, you head to the toilet, you might wobble there because you're getting a little bit intoxicated. And as you...
I've never seen this before. I've never seen this type of... What? Huh. So you just stand there and pee. Huh. Where's the thing to block from people looking at? Okay, maybe I'm tripping. I don't know, cause okay, I'm gonna let it slide.
The door will bang wide open. Mickey walks right in, stands next to you, and he turns to you and he says, "You watched the game last night, mate?" To which you'll panic because last night you're at yoga and you need to now come up with a cover story. And so you will reply, "Nah, not me, mate. Mrs. was having none of it. You know how it is, mate." But this brings us on to our next pub goer, middle class Michael.
What a nice pub. Yes, it's a lovely pub.
Now, middle class Michael, he probably works in IT or marketing or something like that, an office job. He's come from work, so he's wearing his nice smart shirt, but he's undone a button, he's letting loose. He'll be somewhere in his late 20s to 30s. He probably lives in central London or some kind of city. But Michael, too, is welcome into the pub. In fact, all of his friends are welcome to come in and speak at an appropriate volume. Until about his 5th Copperberg, where he starts to find this feeling, this foreign feeling, which is called self-confidence. And he'll start speaking louder and louder until they're throwing up in the toilet. Next up, you have the old boys, aka the locals. These are men from the age of 60 to about really any day prior to their death. They're drinking proper drinks, you know, they're drinking stout, Guinness. They all, of course, dress like farmers. They love Jeremy Clarkson. They hate young people. These are the main demographic of any good country pub.
And we're here in Killarney because we've been invited by a very special character. I hear he's a local legend. Sam, how are you? Good, my dear.
But then you get a few little special guests, such as tourists, who are typically American. They're wearing some bright t-shirt, they've got a bum bag to keep all their things in. And they're saying something about how authentic this place is. It's so quaint. It's so British. And then you get families. Oh, I forgot to say you have the alcoholic who's sat in a corner, murmuring to himself. pretty sad sight. But then finally you have one other group that will sometimes show their face in a pub, and that is women.
So much fun.
And what's interesting about the pub is that pre-World War II, to see a woman in a pub was a very rare sight. It was frowned upon. It was a cultural taboo.
Do you object to me being served alongside you here, sir?
I think for myself that the place for women is the saloon bar or the lounge.
Why?
It was kind of like that so that husbands and wives could be away from each other, so that men could do men things, say naughty words. But nowadays you get what is called a ladies' night. Now this is the one night that ladies have decided they're going to go to the pub. They've spent 3 months over WhatsApp, organising, arguing, falling out over this night. It's a big night for them. It could be a hen do, a birthday, and they will arrive at the pub dressed in their skin-tight dresses, drinking gin and tonic, holding their purse. They're loud, they're passionate, they're dramatic. You'll have one in the corner crying her eyes out, she's staring at her phone, texting away furiously. Another being kicked out by the bouncers as she vomits over herself. It's quite a sight to see, you know, an image that I'm sure the suffragettes never imagined would happen. Progress. And so what I'm hoping that you understand is that the pub is really a place for everyone.
You with all your mates and you're all having a laugh and you're all doing everything. It seems to be like the catalyst to make a good time.
However, over the years, things have changed a lot.
Now, I'm worried about the closure of pubs.
More than 150 pubs have closed their doors for good in England and Wales.
They face a cost of living crisis head on.
Now look, it's never been easy for pubs when it comes to laws. It's been like this tug of war between the government and pubs for a very long time. And that is for the simple fact that alcohol is a bit troublesome. In 1552, the Ale House Act was passed, where pubs would be required a licence from a local authority in order to be able to sell beer. In 1830, the Beer House Act came along. New laws would pop up, like a legal drinking age. Also, opening hours were pretty tight. But by 1960s, the laws were relaxed somewhat. So from here to about the 2000s, things were flourishing. Having a simple bevy with the boys had evolved. Now you could walk into a pub and there might be things like pool tables, dartboards.
And it's a 5-point round.
You go into any good pub and there will be locals who are insane at pool and darts. They'll come in with their own cases, their own sticks, their own table if they could. And if they get good enough, they can enter professional leagues. They can become professional athletes. I mean, take Phil Taylor, for instance, a professional darts player. Look at him. He is your typical pub goer. But look, if darts and pool isn't what you're into, there's something for everyone. You might be more into board games. So you go, you grab a board game in this box that looked like it survived World War II, or you could attend a quiz night.
The town of Leicester is the birthplace of which mass murderer?
But really it would be in 2007 where things would take a massive turn. Where pub culture as we knew it would be gone forever.
A countrywide smoking ban went into effect in the UK on Sunday.
The smoking ban. When smoking ciggies were banned from pubs, this was a major issue in Britain.
Make a place for the smokers and a place for the non-smokers that's segregated off. Not herders out here like bloody prostitutes standing on this corner, which is what you feel like when you're standing here with a cigarette.
I'm not joking, this was as big of a deal as Brexit, Trump, trans athletes. And this is where the government had proposed that we were no longer allowed to smoke cigarettes inside of a pub. And there was uproar from landlords to pub goers, where the classic atmosphere of a pub, you know, where you open the door and a plume full of smoke would come out like a dragon's lair, would now be replaced with breathable air. And we couldn't have that. And it's true, it was part of the atmosphere, but ultimately the ban passed and you had to go outside and smoke cigarettes. From this point on, traditional pub culture only really got worse and worse. With the rise of social media and home media, people didn't really need to leave the house to get entertainment. On top of this, the younger generation were, God forbid, drinking less. And there's been a constant decline in pubs throughout England since 2000.
Yes, boys, how you doing? Are you alright?
Yeah. On top of this, alcohol is easier and cheaper to get a hold of from supermarkets. We, as society, have a greater variety of things to do. You don't just have to sit in a pub. You could go get a coffee. You could go for a meal. And so as pubs become less popular and the cost of living goes up, there has been a major decline in pub culture across Britain. But look, it's not all bad news. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and that light is Wetherspoons.
Okay.
Today I want to talk about one of the great British institutions.
Man, I'm really enjoying this video though, man, for real. Like his video is really entertaining, catch your attention, and I'm learning a lot about the pubs, man. It's amazing.
The Spoons.
Now, Wetherspoons isn't a traditional pub. It's kind of this pub-bar hybrid. It's like a super chain that exists all across Britain, where it takes our favourite elements of traditional pubs, the way they look, the way they feel, combine that with incredibly cheap beer and food, and it attracts a more wider demographic of young people and older people. And I think at this point it's pretty safe to say that Wetherspoons, or Spoons as we abbreviate it to, has kind of become a British institution in and of itself. It's the start of every good night out. It's the place we love to hate, but inside we all have a soft spot for it. It's still got all of the fights, all of the political debates. The owner, Tim Martin, literally did a Brexit tour around Spoons. And it's even got love. Personally, I think as a society, tradition is really important. It's what makes culture so unique and fascinating. It makes people want to come and experience them. So next time you're at your local boozer, grab yourself a pint, take a sip and look around for a second and appreciate everything that's gone in to the Great British Pub. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and watch this video right here.
Oh man, this was good. This was good. I really enjoyed this one. Yeah man, I really enjoyed this video. Again, I've heard a lot about pubs in the UK and England, stuff like that. And yeah, it was nice to hear the explanations, like what type of people goes there, what you can expect at a pub. Yeah, this was well explained, and it was a video that's like, you know, very entertaining to watch. Again, thank you for making this video. I really enjoyed it. Again, thank you guys for watching with me. I appreciate it. Continue to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.